When a woman gets married, she's no longer part of the family. Family celebrations are only for family, so leave already. That's what my sister Amy said to me, her voice full of spite. She looked me right in the eye with a smirk on her face. My mother stood beside her, saying nothing except, "Hurry up and go." I had come back home for Amy's coming-of-age ceremony. I thought maybe, just maybe, things had changed. I was hoping for a little warmth, a kind word, maybe even a smile. Instead, they treated me like a stranger. In that moment, everything became painfully clear. I didn't belong there anymore. My chest felt tight, like something heavy was pressing on me, but I kept my face calm and said nothing. If that's how they felt, then fine. There was only one thing left to do, prove them wrong and make them regret every cruel word they had ever said to me. My name is Sherry, I'm 22 years old. I've been living on my own since I was 18, ever since I graduated from vocational high school. Life hasn't been easy, not at all. I've worked hard just to survive. I live in a small apartment, I manage my bills, and I don't have much, but it's my life. I'm proud of how far I've come, even if no one else in my family sees it. Still, even now, the past clings to me. The way my mother and Amy treated me, it still lingers like a shadow that follows me wherever I go. My story with them began a long time ago. My father left just before my first birthday. He walked away and never looked back. My mother never forgave him. The worst part, I looked like him. Because of that, my mother hated me. I reminded her of everything she had lost. "You're just like him," she used to say. "Seeing your face makes me sick." I was only a child. I didn't really understand what she meant, but I felt the way she looked at me. I felt her coldness, her distance. I knew I wasn't loved. At first, my grandparents gave me a bit of attention, but as time passed and my mother leaned on them for money, they slowly stopped showing care for me too. By the time I was 2, my mother had remarried. Not long after that, Amy was born. From that point on, she had her perfect little family, and I wasn't part of it. I remember watching them one day as they packed suitcases. "Where are you going?" I asked. "On vacation," my mother said flatly. "Can I come too?" I asked, hopeful. She laughed. "Of course not, we'll drop you at daycare." They all laughed as they walked out the door without me. That became my childhood. They went on vacations. I went to daycare. They smiled and made memories while I waited alone. At home, it wasn't any better. I was like a ghost in that house. Once, Amy, who was still little, asked our mother, "Why doesn't Sherry get a birthday party?" For a second, I thought maybe something would change, but my mother just scoffed. "Celebrate her birthday? There's nothing to celebrate." I don't think Amy really understood, but after that, her attitude toward me changed. She started copying our mother, looking down on me, treating me like I was less. On every birthday and celebration, Amy had cake, decorations, gifts. I had nothing, not even a candle to blow out. When I reached high school age, things got worse. My mother refused to pay for my education. I had no choice but to attend a vocational school and work to support myself. Oddly enough, that felt like freedom. Leaving that house for school and work meant I could breathe. But home was still the only place I could return to, and it never stopped feeling cold. At 18, I couldn't take it anymore. I packed my things and left. No one tried to stop me. My mother just said, "Do whatever you want, you're not our problem anymore." That was it, the last tie between us snapped. Living alone was hard. I worked long hours. I barely had time to rest, but for the first time in my life, I felt free. I was living for myself, not for anyone else's approval. Still, their words, their rejection, it stayed with me. Even now, at 22, I can't escape the weight of those memories. Especially now, with Amy's 21st birthday coming up. I never had a celebration like that, but I was sure hers would be grand. That's how it always was for Amy, everything for her, nothing for me. Then one day, I got a call from my mother. It was the first time I had heard her voice in years. As soon as I answered, my chest tightened. "Amy's birthday is next week," she said coldly. "You're not coming, right?" I was stunned. After all these years, this was what she wanted to say. "I wasn't invited," I said quietly. "Good," she replied. "It'd be awkward if you showed up." She hung up. I sat there, the ache in my chest growing heavier. Of course I wasn't going, but still, it hurt. I thought I had let go. I thought I had moved on. But clearly, they still had power over me. Part of me wanted to ignore it, but another part of me, deep down, wanted to face it, face them. Especially Amy. So I did something unexpected. I bought a small cake and a gift, and I decided to go. I didn't know what I was hoping for, maybe just a proper goodbye, maybe closure. As I stood in front of their door, my heart beat fast. I was nervous. When I rang the bell, Amy answered. "Who's there?" she asked, her voice already annoyed. "It's me. Amy, I brought a cake," I said softly. "Please open the door." She opened it. Without saying a word, she took the cake from my hands, and threw it back at me. The box hit the ground. The cake splattered everywhere. "What are you doing?" I asked, trembling. "I don't eat food from strangers," she said, sneering. Stranger. That word hit me hard. For a second, I had hoped she might still see me as her sister, but no, to her, I was nothing. My mother walked up behind her, laughing. "What were you thinking, coming here?" she said, "trying to ruin her birthday?" Then my stepfather's voice called from inside, "She's not family anymore." "Am I not family?" I asked, voice shaking. My mother scoffed. "Of course you're not, we're not even related." Amy laughed. "Did you really think you were one of us?" Their words hurt more than I thought possible. "Clean up the mess before you leave," my mother snapped, pointing to the ruined cake. I didn't argue, I just cleaned. Behind me, they kept laughing. "She brought the cake and now she's cleaning it up herself. Pathetic," Amy said. I finished quickly and stood up. "Leaving already? Should have never come," Amy said, smirking. I said nothing. I walked out the door. "Don't come back, stranger," she called after me. The door slammed behind me. That was the last time I saw them. In that moment, I realized something important. I had been holding on to false hope, that maybe one day they'd accept me, but they never would. I was done trying. I already had a home, a real one. That home was with my husband, Don. I never thought I'd see Amy again, so when I opened the door and saw her standing there, I was shocked. For a moment, I froze. How did she even know where I lived? Even though I felt uneasy, I stepped aside and let her in. Some part of me still wanted to believe maybe she had changed. "What are you doing here?" I asked her, my voice cautious, my guard already up. She gave me a smile that didn't feel right. "I just wanted to see what kind of guy you married," she said, her voice light, almost teasing, but there was something in her tone that made my stomach twist. As soon as she walked into the living room, her eyes landed on Don. She looked him up and down and smirked. "This is your husband? Not bad at all. How did someone like you snag him?" I felt my fists tighten, my heart racing with anger. I wanted to scream at her, but I didn't. I kept my mouth shut. Don didn't ignore her like I did. He stood up, calm and strong. "I'm Sherry's husband," he said. "Please stop with the unnecessary remarks." Amy raised her eyebrows in surprise. She hadn't expected him to respond like that, but she quickly recovered and walked closer to him, her smile growing wider, but colder. "Don't be so stiff," she said, sweet on the outside but poisonous underneath. "Let's have a little fun. Sherry won't mind, will she?" I was stunned. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. My own sister, standing in my home, saying something so shameless right in front of me. Don didn't even blink. "I'm not interested," he said firmly. "My happiness is with my wife. Please stop this behavior." In that moment, I looked at him with so much love and gratitude. He wasn't just defending himself, he was standing up for me, for our marriage. Amy's smile faded. She shrugged, her voice flat now. "Whatever, I don't care about your happiness anyway." That cold sentence was the last straw for me. It became crystal clear. Amy, and the rest of my family, had no place in my life anymore. It was time to let them go for good. After she left, Don gently said, "You don't need people like her in your life, Sherry. For your sake, and for ours, it's best to cut ties." He was right. I had tried for too long. I had given too much. For years, I had been sending money to them. I paid for Amy's school. I helped with the house. All because I thought maybe one day they'd accept me, that they'd finally treat me like family. But Amy's visit reminded me of the truth. They never would. So I made a decision. I was done helping them. They had taken enough from me, and they never gave anything in return. From now on, I would give my love, time, and energy to the people who actually cared about me, my husband, and the peaceful life we were building together. When I told Don, he smiled and took my hand. That's the right choice, Sherry. You've done more than enough. Now it's time to focus on yourself. His words gave me a strange, beautiful feeling. I hadn't realized how heavy the burden had been until it was gone. I canceled the money transfers. I filed all the paperwork. I even sold the house I had bought for them. And for the first time in my life, I felt free. But that freedom didn't last long. One morning, loud banging on the door startled me. When I opened it, my mother and Amy were standing there. Their faces were filled with rage. Why didn't the tuition payment go through? My mother snapped. The landlord says he'll evict us. I had been expecting something like this, so I stayed calm. I stopped the payments, I said, my voice steady. I'm no longer responsible for you. Their angry expressions changed to shock. What do you mean? Amy asked. You stopped the payments? I sold the house too. I had to recover what I already paid, I said firmly. What? My mother yelled. You sold the house? How could you? I looked her in the eye. You told me I wasn't part of your family, so I don't owe you anything. Amy's voice cracked as she shouted. But what about my college? I can't finish without the money. That's not my problem anymore, I said. You're on your own now. You can't do this, after everything I've done for you, my mother cried. Everything you've done for me? I said, my voice finally rising. You mean the years of cruelty, the way you treated me like garbage? I owe you nothing. I've made my decision. They yelled and begged, but I didn't budge. You'll regret this, Amy screamed as they stormed off. You're the worst sister ever. But I didn't feel regret, I felt relief. A week later, they started harassing me. They came to my house, yelling and causing scenes. They even called Don's parents, trying to make me look bad. Thankfully, my in-laws understood, but they were worried too. They've crossed the line, Don said gently. It's time to take action. I knew he was right. I gathered all the security footage and filed a police report. At first, the police didn't take it seriously. They thought it was just a family argument, but I kept pushing. Finally, after another outburst outside our house, the police gave them a warning. When they ignored it, restraining orders were issued. Even our neighbors supported me. Some even suggested that we move somewhere new. Don agreed. Let's start fresh. So we packed up and quietly moved into a new home. They tried to find us. They even went to Don's parents' house, but my father-in-law was firm. Sherry is our family now, he told them. If you have problems, that's on you, not her. Amy begged my mother-in-law for help, but she said the same thing. You made your bed, now lie in it. Eventually, they gave up. And for the first time in years, my life was peaceful. Don and I settled into our new home. We built our future one day at a time. His parents welcomed me like a daughter. They never judged my past. They only loved me for who I was. Sherry, you're family now, they told me. We'll always be here for you. Their words healed something deep inside me. Meanwhile, my mother and stepfather's relationship fell apart. Without my money, they divorced. My mother lived alone. Amy, too, faced her consequences. Her engagement ended when her fiancé found out about her past. She struggled to rebuild her life, but I didn't feel sorry for her. She made her choices. As for me, I was finally happy. Don and I were stronger than ever. One night, as we sat together on the couch, he held my hand and said, "We've come so far, let's keep building this life together. I just want to make you happy." Tears filled my eyes. I finally had the one thing I had always wanted, a place where I was loved and accepted. My past no longer defined me. The pain, the rejection, they were part of my journey, but they didn't control me anymore. Don and his family had become my true family. Family isn't just blood, Don's father once told me, it's who you choose to hold close. I finally understood what he meant. Looking back, I see everything I went through made me stronger. It taught me what love really is, and what it isn't. And now, I'm exactly where I'm meant to be. Home.